In this webisode on OG 55, we are going to talk about SeaWorld, Busch Gardens, and just the company in general. SeaWorld, what are you doing? Let's talk about it. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to WEBISODE here on OG 55. Today, I have a fantastic panel. On the bottom, I got Slimer. To my left, I got OG himself. And then down below, I got George the Italiano. Guys, thank you so much for joining me today. OG 55, what do you think about this topic that we're going to talk about?
I think it's fantastic. I like when we hold other companies accountable because you should. As a consumer, you should hold all of them accountable, right? So there's a lot of accountability being held for Disney all the time, right? That's the big fish, basically, right? And I think, I think for the most part, Universal will probably be number 2 on that accountability list, right? But SeaWorld and Busch Gardens, they don't really get a whole lot of accountability because they're not as big of players, I think, in this overall industry. But it is also important to hold them accountable because, you're still giving them your hard-earned money. You have to let them know when stuff ain't working right. You know what I'm saying? But Webba, I want to thank you for having me on today. I can't wait to talk about it. And we did a fantastic video yesterday all about Tomorrowland. Just a couple of Californians talking about California, lands.
I ain't got nothing to say but West Side.
I just had to play it. I just had to have an excuse to play Mustard. That's all. No, in all seriousness, great Tomorrowland video. It was really fun. But thank you so much for having me on. And you can find me on Instagram, Orange Grove 55, and you can find me on Twitter, Orange Grove 55, and you can find me on Blue Sky Orange Grove 55.
Absolutely, there is Italiano, sir. Where can everybody find you at home on social media?
Absolutely. You can find me on X, formerly known as Twitter, at Disney George. You could also find me on Instagram, Threads, and Blue Sky under the Disney Italiano. And of course, you can find me, on this channel on Orange Grove 55 with Citrus Corner, with all that sweet, juicy, but sometimes sticky Disney news and info.
There is.
Yeah, and then down below, right beneath me, we have the Mean Green Machine. Slimer, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing well. Thanks very much for having me on. And what you can't find is George's shaver. So
that's true. That is very true. That is very true.
I gotta say, it looks great. Continue to grow it out. I'm sure the ladies appreciate it. I as a very comfortable in my sexuality man, can very much so appreciate a man with a big burly beard. So please continue. I have to at least experience you eating some saucy Italian food at least once before you shave it. So
yeah,
get a little bit of that drip going down.
Oh, of course, it's like no offense, but it's like a spider web. It's like everything gets caught in it.
Yeah. George is high tea, bro. He's high tea. Yeah. He just, hair everywhere. That testosterone,
Oh shit. Well, Slimer, where can everybody find you at home, sir?
Yeah, so you guys can find me on the Orange Grove Network here at Orange Grove 55, and you guys can find me on X at Slime Square 84. And as usual, I do have my old granddad tonight. Do not miss a podcast without it. So cheers, fellas.
Cheers. Yeah. Absolutely.
Awesome. So guys, before we get into today's video, so today we're gonna do a video reaction to PC Dev. Shout out to him and Bianca. They do great stuff on their channel, theme park reviews, hotels, stuff like that. So go out, check out the channel, and subscribe. And it's about SeaWorld for this video that we're going to watch. But before we get to that, though, I want to kind of go over some things with you and kind of talk about this. So SeaWorld, they operate a bunch of different parks, right? So they operate like SeaWorld, Busch Gardens, Discovery Cove. They operate Water Country USA, right, and Adventure Island, and also Sesame Place. We have one in Chula Vista here in San Diego. So they changed the name from SeaWorld Entertainment to now, I believe it is, I think got it right here, United Parks and Resorts. What do you guys think about that? They just changed that name last February. Do you think it's a good thing or a bad thing? I personally think it's probably it's a better thing because of the whole backlash SeaWorld as a whole got because of the Blackfish documentary and all that. What do you guys think, OG?
Yeah, I think it is connected to that. I think they're I think SeaWorld as a theme park operator, they're trying to get out of the real animal thing, so to speak, or not completely out of that game, but they're trying to minimize it. We do know that the orcas, when this current crop of orcas pass away, they're not gonna have any more. That's it, you know. So I think they're trying to get into more traditional theme parky stuff, and it's gonna be a slow transition for sure. But that's the goal, I think, and they're moving away from the real, you know, zoo kind of experience. So the new name kind of fits that, right? The new name kind of signals that. So yeah, it doesn't really surprise me, and I do agree with you, Webba. They've taken a lot of heat the past few years, and I think this is just one more sign of them kind of course correcting.
Yeah, absolutely. Slimer, do you think with this new name of the company, do you think now they might start pumping more money into the parks? Because as we see from Orlando, also San Diego, they have been pushing more, especially here in San Diego, been pushing more attraction stuff into the park than just animals because of that backlash. I mean, here in San Diego, SeaWorld just got sued by the city of San Diego for like unpaid fees to the city. So,
right.
so yeah, it's insane. So do you think this is a good name change for them? Do you think it's a generic name? Do you think they should come up with something better?
You know, if rebranding ever happens, it's typically because the company at one point they did a survey, they surveyed people, and the response they got from the group that was surveyed gave them an overall negative connotation when it came to the brand SeaWorld. Anytime they do a rebranding like that, it's taken very seriously. They just don't do it on a whim. They put the name out there. They put several names out there actually, and they try to get public feedback on what people think about the name, what it represents, you know, what kind of ideation people get whenever they think about those, you know, those words or that word. And so what they determined is SeaWorld Entertainment just doesn't get it doesn't get the positive, it doesn't give people the positive vibes that they were looking for, or maybe the brand once had back in the 80s and 90s when it was still a very strong brand. So rebranding is very serious. It was a very deliberate move by the company. There was a lot of thought that went into it. There was a lot of research. I did not know they went through a name change. However, I do know that rebranding, when it's done, it's done out of necessity, and there's usually a loss that's associated with that. When it comes to getting away from, like OG said right before the show started, or at the introduction, getting away from the animals altogether, or not altogether per se, but like, you know, not making it the focus of everything. A couple of things you got to take into consideration is like, look what Disney's doing with its own animal kingdom, right? And how much they've invested into that park over the last 10 years. You have the Pandora Land, which was a $500 million or $1 billion investment. And it looks like they're going to pour another couple $100 billion into Animal Kingdom. And that's a park that has a hard time competing, not so much with Epcot, but, you know, for like 4th and 5th place. I mean, there was a short period there where it was a big contender in terms of annual park attendance, but even Disney's Animal Kingdom doesn't bring people to the yard the way that Epcot or Universal Studios Islands of Adventure does, or Magic Kingdom. So what that tells me is like, the animal centric theme park has a population limit. And if Animal Kingdom, if Disney's experienced that with Animal Kingdom and the, $2 billion that they've invested into that park over the last 20 years, then for sure, Busch Gardens is going to have that problem, being that they don't have, the amount of CapEx that Disney has to, keep people coming to the park, or to increase, attendance, year over year as, as things change. Right. So it's a big thing. Yeah. So, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, another thing real quick before we go to George, another thing too is this is the parent company that they renamed, right?
Yep. Yes, exactly. Yeah. So it's a parent company, and all individual parks have kept their respective names.
Yeah. So this signals that they want to. Yeah. It also signals, because it's the parent company, that they do want to diversify too. They don't want to just, they want to get into the more broader theme park market instead of just, what they currently have, I think. So
yeah, exactly. George, Taliano, what do you think? And you being from East Coast and have been to Animal Kingdom, Walt Disney World plenty of times, as Animal Kingdom has animals, it's an animal park. Do you concur with Slimer on what he was talking about?
Yeah, I do actually. And anytime that you involve real live animals into a theme park or an amusement kind of enterprise, you're in competition with zoos, and there are so many zoos out there in the US and even internationally. But it's a slippery slope when you're also dealing with live animals, because you get a lot of the backlash of how they are maintained, how they're kept, and people and businesses take that very seriously. Animal Kingdom, when it first opened, they were under the microscope of like really, how the animals were being treated, were they being taken care of properly? And even still to this day, the park itself is hindered by that because the park closes early because of the animals. Certain locations of the park are closed off because of the animal exhibits that they pulled them in for the night. They can't do no kind of like fireworks or like that type of pyro. They did grand pyro, like with the Rivers of America, like smaller things, but when they had it, I'm sorry, not Rivers of America, Rivers of Light, when they had that show, but they don't even have that anymore, so and that's a detriment to the park because of the animals. But at the same time, I do understand the animals should be taken care of properly. We've seen even what happened with circuses, with Ringling Brothers, Barnum and Bailey, over 90 or 100 years, of them having animals. Little did anyone know that they weren't being maintained properly. So I think with a lot of this stuff coming out, I think, as to Slimer's point when he mentioned like Pandora and even the new Tropical Americas coming out, it's heavily IP generated, but not necessarily incorporating more animal exhibits. And I think Disney is playing on the safe side to whatever exhibits they have already. They could add, new animals, but I don't think they're going to want to my knowledge, they're not going to want to expand that. So speaking to with SeaWorld, I can see why, with the rebranding and everything, I think moving forward, and as OG pointed out earlier with the orcas, once they're gone, I really don't think they're going to move further with, having more live animal exhibits. They're going to have some small things, but lean more towards of that theme park amusement enterprise.
Yeah, like that manta coaster. It'll still be themed to the ocean and sea life and things like that, but it won't be actual sea life. And you'll have glimmers of it here and there. You might have like the otter exhibit, or you might have like the shark tank or whatever, but it's just not going to be the main entree like it once was decades ago.
Right. Yeah, exactly. And actually, speaking of going forward, I have a quick fact here. I have a note on here. It's actually pretty interesting. So the company as a whole, right, have 12 parks across the United States, right, which is pretty good. In 2023, I didn't know this, and speaking of going forward, they just opened up a 13th park in Abu Dhabi in the United Arab. Yeah, I was like, what? A new SeaWorld there? That's interesting. I haven't checked it out yet, like online, see what it's about. But if anything, that new park probably has, I'm just guessing, probably has less orca and like heavy animal stuff in it, probably more attractions, I'm guessing.
Yes, that's a great point. I'm curious to kind of look into that park, because that park is probably going to be the model they're going to use going forward for everything else. So yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah, absolutely. So I was like, well, that's cool. I didn't know that. But yeah, OG, co-pilot, sir, could you take us away to this video we're going to be looking at?
Absolutely. This is courtesy of the one and only Mr. PC Dev right here. Subscribe, smash that like button. The title of this video is "The Customer Service at SeaWorld Orlando is Becoming Very Poor. Riding My Favorite Coaster." So this is a video about 20 minutes. We're going to watch it. We're going to do like we always do here on the channel. We're going to pause it along the way, talk about it, break it down. Mr. Webba, is it okay to click on the play? Are you ready to rock and roll?
Yeah, and then just another thing, I mean, if there's anything cool, we can probably mention it too. Like, there's some cool coasters, Slimer, right? I know that I'll be coming out there in April. And if we can get there, maybe I can ride some of them if I'm not too chicken shit to go on some of these. But I mean, this SeaWorld Orlando does have some really cool coasters. But yeah, let's give it a play.
Let's go.
Good afternoon, my friends, and hello from SeaWorld Orlando. I am here today to ride all of my favorite coasters inside of this park. It is going to be so much fun. I hope you guys are ready, because I am. Let's go do this. All right, I have made it inside. Look at the line for tickets. Oh my goodness. But one of the main reasons why I love being a SeaWorld pass holder is because they give us so many free things. Like I have 20% off merchandise. What else do I have here? I have a one-time use for front of the line pass, which is nice. Free popcorn or a drink. I also have a free feeding tray. But yeah, I really appreciate all of the free
can
perks
you
that
pause
you
that
get
there, bro?
by being a
Like,
pass holder.
A free
Okay.
feeding tray. That sounds like something out of in the county jail or something. What's the feeding tray?
Interesting. So, okay, so I want to touch upon this, right? This is one of the positive aspects of SeaWorld. And I'm not sure about the other parks under the banner, but this here, because you guys know me, I've been complaining about the Magic Keys, about the perk side of things, of how expensive they are, right? Now, obviously, Disneyland or Walt Disney World, they're a much superior park, right? But the perks you get with these annual passes, especially the higher you go, is insane. OG, would you mind bringing up that webpage for the annual passes?
Yeah. I got you. And just out of curiosity, like all jokes aside, what is that feeding tray situation? Do we know, like, what is that exactly? A free? Does that mean like the tray that you put your food on?
I didn't have that here, at least when I went a few years ago, because I was a platinum pass holder for 2 years, but at the time we didn't have that. I'm thinking maybe that's when you feed like the seals and stuff with fish. That's my guess.
Oh,
So
gotcha.
you get a little tray with fish and you throw it out to them and stuff like that.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, gotcha. That makes sense. Okay.
Yeah, it's like $5 or $7 to do that.
Oh,
So,
I thought they charge you for those trays. Like, you know when you go like the food court at the mall, that you put your food on a tray.
It's SeaWorld, not Disney, OG.
right?
That's true. Okay, that makes sense.
Okay.
Feeding trays. Gotcha. Okay.
So if you look here, passes, right? If you look at that platinum one, 11 parks, dude. You get 11 parks and you get a bunch of discounts. OG, if you're able to scroll down, I don't know if there's there should be a column that has like look at all that stuff, you know. And there's another comparison column that they have, but you get like, for example, when I had platinum, I had preferred parking, free parking. I had 20% off of, animal encounter experiences with either the sloth or like the dolphins or the beluga whales. I got 40% off merchandise, 20% off food. I got 20% off of these other little oddball stores, pictures. You just get a bunch of stuff. You also got like a lanyard. They also still give out like physical, well, they're not physical cards, but they're like physical paper cards, kind of like Universal's Pass. So you get a lot of perks. Plus, I would also get a free 1-day quick queue per ride. So quick queue, if for people who don't know, is their fast pass system. It's called Quick Queue. And the Platinum, you get one free Quick Queue per day. And you also, if you want to buy it, you get half off of Quick Queue. So there's just a bunch of perks that they put into these passes. And for how cheap they are, it pretty much makes it well worth it, in my opinion. Yeah. So, I mean, OG, like, being someone who's a big fan of Disney, right? Yeah. What do you think about the perk side of these annual passes and what SeaWorld provides for you with these perks and discounts?
Yeah, they give you a lot more perks than Disney. And here's the thing though, and this is kind of like in my opinion, like kind of like the reality of the situation when it comes to this stuff. There is a demand gap between these two companies, right? Like if you were to offer these passes, these prices, and these perks to Disneyland Resort annual passes or Magic Keys, the park would be unnavigatable. Like you wouldn't be able to walk. It would be so miserable, So to be fair, there's a lot of that here at play. Disney doesn't have the luxury, so to speak, to really do that. I mean, if you do that at a Disney park, you're coming up against major congestion, So, but with all that said and done, yeah, they're great deals. It definitely pays for itself. And if you're a huge fan of this park and you feel like you would want to go at least a few times a year, it's definitely worth it. I've never had an annual pass for SeaWorld. My family and I used to go every year. The one in San Diego, though, not the one in Florida, but we'd go every year to the one in San Diego. We make like a whole family trip of it. We stay at the Hilton out there in San Diego by the water, and we do SeaWorld and all that stuff. So it was a lot of fun. I enjoyed this park. I don't know personally, though, if I need to go multiple times a year, just for me personally. You know what I'm saying?
Well, and I think too, OG, to what you just said, I think that's why they offer these passes with so many perks, because probably a lot of people would look at it and say, you know what, SeaWorld's cool, but do I need to go multiple times a year? So this is a way to entice guests to say, hey, we're offering all this. Why don't you come more, multiple times a year, because looking at the opposite end of the spectrum, if SeaWorld had the demand that Disney does and people would go no matter what, SeaWorld wouldn't be offering all these extra amenities to their passes.
What's really
They're more so sorry, real quick, Summer. They're more so doing it to entice people, because I don't think that they actually have enough people going in. But sorry, bro, go ahead.
well, I want to piggyback off of what you said, right? Because the reason they're giving away so much is again because what's really interesting about Disney, right, and Universal too at this point now. But what Disney was able to do, okay, all these theme parks started on a pretty level playing ground back in the 1950s. Okay, you had Disneyland in 55. You had Knott's Berry, same year. You had Cypress Gardens, which opened in the 50s as well down here in Florida. It was just a garden, and they had like a ski show. And then Busch Gardens opened in 1959. Universal Studios opened in the 80s, et cetera, et cetera. But what Disney was able to pull off is they were able to convert their product into a premium product, right? So like if you're a business owner, right, and you want to provide a product or service, you have to make a decision. Am I a premium brand? Am I a premium product? Or am I offering a value product or a value brand? And Disney has been able to thread that needle. And what's really interesting is they all pretty much started like the playing ground was pretty much level. You know what I mean? Like Disney, other than its I would say other than its founders, other than like its founders anchor point, right? Walt and Roy. And then the culture that he established moving forward, they really didn't have a whole lot of leverage. I mean, there's been a lot of periods throughout the decades where the Disney theme parks have been broke as a joke, right?
Sure.
But what we have here with the SeaWorld Entertainment product is we have a value product. This is a complete value proposition, and one that doesn't tell me that it is one of premium. And yet Disney is able to sell 2 to 3 times as many tickets with while offering a fraction, if not any of the perks included, even in the Platinum Pass, which yields you the best, value per the dollar, right? I mean, $303 annually, that's nothing. That's the Pixie Pass for Walt Disney World, and you don't get Jack Diddley. Yeah. And yet they still sell more Pixie Passes than they do Platinum Passes over at the SeaWorld Entertainment parks. So when Busch Gardens Entertainment / Anheuser / SeaWorld, whatever you want to call it, when they made the decision to become a value brand, that to me is it's very difficult to get out of that. Like it doesn't matter if you rebrand, you can rebrand and try to get out that way, but you've already established yourself as a value brand. You can't go, oh, we're a premium brand now. You know what I mean? It's very difficult to reverse that that public image. But I just wanted to say that like it's a very interesting historical story of how Disney pivoted and became premium, and Universal now is also a premium brand. But these are not. Now I've enjoyed Busch Gardens. I've been in annual pass. I've been many times because I used to live in Tampa, Florida. And I'll tell you, when Anheuser owned them, I do believe they were still a premium brand because there was a lot more you can do in the parks. Especially when it came to like Anheuser and the Beer House and the Clydesdales and things like that. And you just don't get a lot of that anymore because the company that owns them now, they don't have an American brand like Budweiser associated with it. So, I mean, there was even a microbrewery inside Busch Gardens at one point, where I don't know if they have that now. I don't think they do, but they used to actually brew there, and the Clydesdales that were in the commercials were there, and used to be able to take pictures of them and stuff like that. But right. Again, like that story that's tied to the brand, Disney has that in spades. Universal, SeaWorld's where to go.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see. What's interesting though, Simon, I'm glad you brought up the thing about what was it? The branding and the value, right? Because whenever Disney builds like a new land or attraction, right, we always see price increases, right? SeaWorld and San Diego has built Manta, the new Arctic coaster ride, the new Emperor ride. Prices haven't really haven't really gone up too crazy. And like, with Disney, it just seems more like in your face. But that's also probably because, too, granted, when Disney increases prices, everybody freaks out about it, and it's on the news everywhere. Right? So with SeaWorld, it's probably like, like nobody really hears about it, so to speak. Or if so, the 2 years in a row I got the Platinum Pass, I never really saw a huge increase on top of SeaWorld, like Knott's or Six Flags. They tend to have sale discounts on their annual passes where Disney does not.
Yeah.
Well, I think the problem is they've maintained the same price point for their annual pass, relatively the same now for about 10 years. Yeah, which is you buy a day ticket, get the annual pass for free.
Right.
I've seen that as a promotion walking into Halloween Horror Nights at Busch Gardens as early as, I don't know, mid 2000s. So you're right. They really haven't adjusted the price of entry on a daily ticket or an annual pass. And again, I could be wrong, but I can tell you that the $100 annual pass starting price has been a promotion they've been running now for the better part of 10 years. And you're right, because they haven't made that adjustment. It has just further diminished it as a brand and has pushed it further into the value category. And let's face it, George doesn't want value. George wants premium.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
That is right.
That's very, very true. All right, boys, here we go.
Yep.
Mr. PC Dev.
Here at SeaWorld, I have made it inside of the park, and something, I guess, pretty cool happened on the way in. As I was scanning my pass to enter the park, the employee who scanned my ticket, I guess on their device, a picture will appear to make sure the right guest is entering the park. And he was like, "Oh, you changed." I'm like, "What do you mean?" And he showed me the picture on their little tablet, and it was an old photo of me from 2-3 years ago when I was a lot, bigger. I dropped about 85 pounds, and
Wow.
it's a great feeling when just, I guess, random people will.
Hey, you know what? Shout out to him on that. That's not an easy thing to do, and it's always, I can respect that when someone's working on themselves like that. And he did it. 85 pounds. That's nothing to sneeze at, man. That's a big deal. That's a
lot.
That's a child.
Yeah. It's a lot of weight. That's a lot of weight. And good for him. Absolutely.
Yeah. And also too, I also want to say, OG too, I also want to give props to the SeaWorld team member who acknowledged that and noticed, because again, there's a problem that we're gonna get into this video that I have had at the SeaWorld San Diego, which is the lack of good customer service or guest service. But that right there, I have to say that was props for that team member there. That was good guest service right there.
Yeah, well said.
Compliment you on your progress. If you were curious, if you're coming here with the kiddos, the height requirements. So here you go. 36 inches, Elmo's Choo Choo Train, Grover's Box Car Derby, 38 inches, and then Penguin Trek, a lot of the other attractions, 42 inches, Icebreaker and the Sky Tower, 48 inches, and then 54 inches for Pipeline, Kraken, Mako, and Manta. It looks like they're more.
I barely make it on the Pipeline.
Hey, OG, hold on a second, George. Hey, George. So just to clarify, how in comparison, how's that measurement for you, bro?
Standing up or laying down?
Let's do this is standing up.
Which one?
Well, let's see. Hold on. Can you now, Slimer? You said you barely get on the pipeline.
Yeah, I'm barely tall enough to get on the pipeline, which is ironically enough, George. George is the pipeline.
There it is. Absolutely. There he is.
Other attractions, 42 inches, Icebreaker and the Sky Tower, 48 inches, and then 54 inches for Pipeline, Kraken, Mako, and Manta. It looks like their Mardi Gras season is about to kick off February 27th through March 2nd.
So, real quick.
So
I've never been to Mardi Gras at SeaWorld. Slimer, have you been to this event at SeaWorld in Orlando?
No, I haven't been to any of the Mardi Gras events, whether it's Busch Gardens or Universal Studios. I don't give a shit about Mardi Gras. Like it's like a, I don't know. I just don't relate to it. I guess I should. Like it'd probably be fun, right? Like jazz is cool. Jazz is fun.
Right.
Yeah. Louis Armstrong.
While we're actually on this subject, does anyone know why Universal Hollywood doesn't capitalize on Mardi Gras like they do in Universal Orlando?
I think it's probably the proximity to Louisiana.
Oh,
that makes sense.
Yeah, it's not like it's not a southwestern party.
Yeah.
It's like a southeastern one, you know.
I thought everyone was like looking at boobs stirring beads.
Yeah, no, this is more of the West Coast vibe.
Mustard on the beat, ho.
We're more of a mustard We're more of a mustard area over here in California. So
you guys are more of a Dias de las Muertas.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
well, also that, and you also over here will get 2 hot Asian chicks making out. So there you go.
Well, that was confirmed at HHN at Universal Hollywood on the escalator. We saw it with our own eyes, Webba.
March 6th through 9th. All right. I will say, SeaWorld knows how to offer a really good food festival. Every time I have...
Look at that. They got Chicago dogs. Chicago. I'll actually, you know what? Chicago has fantastic hot dogs. We moved out there when I was a kid after we had the big earthquake out here. And they had a place out there, Portillo's, I think. And I think they're nationwide now, I'm pretty sure. But man, their hot dogs were amazing, bro. Yeah, Chicago's no joke with the hot dogs.
Well, I see green right there. I think that's Slimer right there on the hot dog.
Yeah, right. Exactly. and it's a hot dog, or as George says, how do you say dog? Hot dog?
Hot dog.
Hot dog.
For a food festival, the food has always been really good. So if you need something else to do, keep this in mind. I do really enjoy coming here to SeaWorld, especially during the week when it's a lot slower and quiet. Coming up on Penguin Trek first. It's so smooth.
AOG, would you go on that?
The wait time
hell no.
isn't too high.
I'll meet you at the gift shop with Theme Park Wizard, and I will be in the gift shop waiting for you.
I'm going to try to save that for as long as I can. Funny story, I ended up using my one-time quick queue use because Penguin Trek had a 60-minute standby wait. I'm glad I used it because now I'm going to get right on to the newest attraction here at SeaWorld Orlando. And here we are. It looks like they are running 2 trains, which is good because when they only run 1 train, it backs up the line so much.
OG, right here. Pause. Okay, so he's going to get into this a little bit later in the video, but this fucking drives me insane with these theme parks. Why do you run 1 train? I know for this ride it's 2, but why do you run 1 train? It's like, dude, run both. Like this is the same problem. This is a problem where it's like akin to the grocery store when it's a little bit slower and there's like 1 or 2 registers open, and then you have a 20-minute line, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's like, it's just so inefficient. It drives me crazy.
I'll add that to you, Eva, because what I think is very funny is they'll only use 1 train when it's the busiest day of the week. Well,
here's the thing, George, is that the line should be like, let's say 15 minutes, but now it's double or even triple because they're running 1 train. And so, and on a non-busy day, it makes the day feel busier because of that. And now you're standing there forever. And hey, you know what? Maybe that's SeaWorld's plot there to get you to buy that quick queue.
Or maybe that's even Disney's. You know, that's a whole reason why to say, hey, yeah, buy Lightning Lane.
No, exactly. That's exactly what these companies. I mean, I think there is an element of truth to that, where now it's incentivized for these companies to sort of make these lines a little longer because, you know, you have to pay into it, but that could potentially though get them into some legal trouble too, though. I would imagine with finagling this to try to like create this false sense of like, you know, necessity. I don't know. I'm not a lawyer. I'm not pretending to be one, but I would think that would potentially get them into some legal trouble if, you know, if like a class action or something was filed. But I don't know. We'll see. Lawyers at home, comment down below if that is actually a thing.
All right, RG, bro, I mean, you are going on this, all right?
Yeah, right. Yeah. Yeah, right.
It's gonna be me and you, and then George and Simon will be together right in front of us.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, this is cool.
But wait, really quick, I wanted to actually ask you: are you going to SeaWorld Orlando, or are you just doing Busch Gardens?
So I'm doing Busch Gardens for sure, but me and Slimer are trying to go to both Busch Gardens and SeaWorld Orlando. but that remains to be seen. But for sure, Busch Gardens, because I've never been there before. I've been to SeaWorld here in San Diego, granted, not Orlando, but Busch Gardens is a different, like, branded theme park, so I want to go check that out first.
So you never been in Busch?
Not that much, no. Okay, I like this. This is great. Like for SeaWorld, okay, for SeaWorld standards, this is really good, like immersive theming here, because in San Diego it is a pile of doo-doo. Okay, it is not good. Their Emperor coaster has no theming. The outside of the station of where you go, you launch, is like outside. You have no shed, nothing. The Arctic coaster has like a little bit of snow and like some like snowy backdrop on some boards in like the back. That's it. So this is much better theming. I think overall, Slimer, Orlando has a much better SeaWorld than we do here in San Diego for sure.
Oh yeah. But you know what?
Yeah. Oh, so y'all ain't gonna let nobody disrespect the West Coast, huh?
There you go, Emma. There you go. You can't disrespect the West Coast. Not on Kendrick's watch.
No, not on Kendrick's watch. Yeah, see, like that's cool. I like that, you know.
Yeah,
it's like some cracked out penguin's lair, man. You know,
right? I know. Huh? See,
yeah, this isn't bad though. This isn't bad theming at all.
No, it's like you got some cool, like, you know, lighting package effects. You know, a little dark ride portion.
I was just going to say the lighting package. I would love for them to add that to the meta.
Oh
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that launch was pretty dope. I'm not gonna lie. I mean,
no, it was. I mean, this looks fun. Oh, gee, I gotta take you on this, bro.
Yeah, this actually doesn't look bad though, dude. Like, it's pretty. I mean, it's like Slinky Dog almost, right? The way it kind of. Well, yeah, it's not like that super crazy.
No, it's not.
No.
It really isn't. Like, I could definitely do this. This is not that bad.
I mean, honestly, man, you guys just need to like robo trip, take like 8 robo tussons, and just, you know, fucking ride it out, dude.
Just knock them out. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, this is easy, bro. I could do this one. This seems like lesser than like even Space Mountain almost. I mean, this is kind of like you're kind of meandering a little bit, you know, through the.
Yeah, and also
I will say this looks cool, but if I had to wait 60 minutes and ride something like this, I'd be pissed.
Well, see, that's the thing, right? Is the time you want to wait for an attraction, right? Like when I go to Disneyland, because I've been there so many times, I'm no longer waiting. Like if I see something that's like 30 minutes, depending on the ride, I'll think about getting on. If it's like 45,
if it was something like Slimer, I can't remember the name of it. It's actually at Dollywood, where you ride on the side of the track.
Oh yeah, I don't know. It's based off of an eagle. I forgot what the name of the
Eagle's Claw or something like that.
Yeah.
Now for something like that, because I'm a throw junkie, I'll wait 60 minutes.
Right.
For that.
Yeah.
For something like this, I'd probably wait like 20.
20. Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
How many eagles do you give that ride, George? out of 5 eagles, how many eagles do you give that ride?
Which one? This one?
No, the Dollywood one, the eagle.
The Dollywood. I've never. I want to ride it, but based off of the POV, I would right now. I'd give it 5 eagles.
Okay, nice.
I rode that ride. I give it a solid, probably a solid like 3.75 out of 5 eagles. 3.75 out of 5.
hey, if you got the eagles, spread them.
Oh my god.
Spread them wings.
Oh man.
Hello, adorable penguins.
Love it.
I could sit here and watch these penguins all day. They are so fascinating. Dang, I came over here to have a ride on Kraken, but it is not open right now. All right, let's move on then. Wow, I'm passing by Atlantis, and this attraction is down as well. By the way, I am really glad that I decided to use my...
Okay, let me just put that right there. If this was at Disney, not saying PC Dev, but like just a fandom in general, people would be complaining for sure. Oh, this attraction's down. This attraction's down. What the hell, Disney? I'm paying so much money, you know? But it's like stuff has to go down to have maintenance guys, you know? So I don't know. What do you think about that, OG?
Well, yeah, things break. There's also just, things break, things go down. I don't know the circumstances around these particular attractions. I'm not really well versed in SeaWorld, but it either broke down or it's down for refurb, But yeah, I mean, that is a big complaint about Disney. The fandom gets on Disney for a lot. And part of that is, or a big part of that is because of like what you were saying, Ebba, the price. It's expensive at Disney. So there is a higher, standard. But at the same time, though, you're still spending your hard-earned money at SeaWorld too, though. It's still money to be spent. So there is still a standard there. There's still some bar that needs to be met, right? And if they're slipping, and again, I haven't been to SeaWorld, like the one in San Diego, since like 2014. So it's been a while for me. But if they're slipping in their quality and their maintenance, they should absolutely be called out on that.
No hot Asian girls making out in the elevators. Is that why you haven't returned in 10 years?
That's why, bro. It's not HHN, dude. You know what I'm saying? It's not HHN.
Yeah.
My one-time quick queue for Penguin Trek, because that line was not moving at all. Even in the express or the quick queue lane, I still waited just about 20 minutes, which is way better than the 60 minutes that was the posted wait. There's Penguin Trek right there. I love walking around this park and seeing coasters everywhere. Next up, let's have a ride on Mako. The standby wait is sitting at a 15-minute wait right now. Never mind, a big tour group just got in line and they're only operating one train, so that's causing the line to be very backed up. I may come back, or I may just even look into buying quick queue, just like a one-time use quick queue, because that's something that SeaWorld offers. But yeah, that line was not moving, and I really don't like it.
But I will give SeaWorld credit. This is in Tampa, right? Slimer, not Orlando?
Orlando.
Oh, it's Orlando. Okay. I will say this, though. From what I'm seeing from Dev's video, the cleanliness of the park it's a clean park. I don't see a lot of trash. It doesn't look dirty. It looks very well kept. At least the walkways and everything else. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't know about the attractions, but everything on the outside looks really good.
Yeah, it's been a couple of visits since I've seen a homeless person just hanging around outside of a ride.
Yeah, at least a couple of visits, right? At least.
Coming to SeaWorld in Busch.
I tell you, bro, the CVS by my house, dude. You go there after like 9 p.m. It looks like Mad Max over there, bro.
Oh, jeez.
I'm telling you, man.
Gardens Tampa.
Now I know where to get my drugs from.
Most of all of their attractions are only operating one train. Well, I cannot make this up. I just went inside 2 different stores around Mako asking to purchase the Quick Queue Pass, and both stores have told me to go to the other store, and that store told me to come here. I guess they don't want money. They don't want a customer to buy Quick Queue. I don't know what's going on. I may circle back around, but
yeah,
this stinks.
This is
Okay.
crazy.
So Slimer, you've been to Busch Gardens, right? He brought Busch Gardens as well in this about the single train. It backs up the line even on a slow day. Have you noticed that at Busch Gardens? And at least for SeaWorld, at least here in San Diego, I see that all the time, and it's really frustrating. And for me, it's bad guest experience. Like, it annoys the crap out of me. And what's your take on it, bro?
So I'm trying to think of it from like an operational standpoint, and operationally, it's no different than Universal Studios or Disney World. Like, Disney World manipulates wait times higher than what they are on an average.
Right.
So that way people spend more time in shops and walking around buying food, right? Like, this is a well-known fact. This is not controversial. Nobody's going to dispute that. Okay. Universal does the same thing. SeaWorld, Disney, or SeaWorld and Busch Gardens don't have the same, like, they don't have the same wait times as Disney and Universal Studios. So their way of achieving the same result is by running less trains on the track. Okay. So different path, same end result. I really can't fault them, to be honest with you. I mean, if everything had a 5 or 15-minute wait time because all the rides are running as 100% efficiently as possible, then there's going to be some fiduciary consequences with that. There's not going to be people buying merchandise, buying drinks, buying food, because it's less time that they spend walking around the parks. So it's a business strategy. If you understand it from that perspective, I think that it's a little bit easier to like be forgiving about that. If you wanted to just look at it from the customer standpoint perspective, then yeah. I mean, obviously you want to stay in like the least amount of rides as possible, but again, like as soon as those customers are done riding all those rides, because they're all running, maximally, they're gone, and you're trying to stretch out that customer's day as long as possible, because the longer that they're in there, the more money they're going to spend.
Yeah, no, well said, Slimer. Perfectly said. That's exactly what it is. It's a business decision. They want to get you waiting for the attractions, or they want to get you out of the queues and into the stores and going to get something to eat and walking around, because that's where the money's at. Now there should be some law against that though, like manipulating wait times. There probably isn't, but there should be, because that just seems kind of shady. Because you're right, Disney does it too. I mean, and I don't know, something wrong about that, but they all do it, and there's a financial gain to it, so that's why they do it.
Yeah,
if everything was running smoothly, you wouldn't buy the lightning lane, you wouldn't buy the quick queue, or you wouldn't buy the, what I'm saying? There's financial incentive to it.
Right. So while I understand that and like the business side of it, especially I guess it hits me more because I'm more of a rides over vibes guy. It just pisses me off that that if something should be realistically a 10-minute wait, now turns into 20 or to 30, because you're kind of purposely refusing to run at a more efficient pace because you want to run the business in terms of like the quick queue or the lightning lane or whatever, right? And as someone who doesn't really walk around the parks or eat a lot, like it's funny. I'm not a snacker at the parks. I'm more like a eat at like a dining location and then go. For me, it just annoys me a lot more, and I guess than other people, because if it's not efficient, it drives me crazy. Especially I've seen at Disney or even Universal here in Hollywood, they get people on and off those rides like a motherfucker. Over here, it's just like, okay, one train, safety check, and they take like 5 minutes a 5-minute cycle to get like that train through. It's just very, very annoying.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, I'm the opposite of Ebba. I'm a vibes over rides guy. So I don't come across a lot of this lightning lane stuff that a lot of other people would come across on every visit, because I don't really go on anything, to be honest with you. I walk around and eat all the fucking day. That's pretty much my Disney day. So I mean, I'll go on rides like maybe one ride a visit. Sometimes I don't go on any. But I'm not actively like going ride after ride after ride. I'm not buying the lightning lanes. I'm not doing any of that stuff. So I'm a little less upset over it. But I can see if you were a rides person, oh yeah, it would get very, very annoying.
But really quick, Ebba, when you said
I was ready to buy.
When you said in Universal Hollywood, they get you on and off, but over here, are you referring to Universal Orlando or SeaWorld?
Wait, what do you mean?
You said like Universal Hollywood gets you on and off like a motherfucker, but over here it's like
sorry. When I meant over here, I meant SeaWorld. Sorry.
Oh, okay. No, I wasn't sure if you were referring to SeaWorld or the Universal Orlando, because if it was Universal Orlando, I would have to respectfully disagree, because being there several times, like they do the same with Universal Hollywood. You go on the Incredible Hulk coaster, damn, it's like riding fucking NASCAR. Like they get you, like they don't mess around. Like they get you seated, they pull on the restraints, and boom, you're gone.
Yeah, for me, someone I like that. Just get this shit quick and done. Like I like that. Not this where it take our time, kind of walk around. Hey, we're ready. Yeah, it's just for me, it's annoying. I hate when things take forever, and I don't like inefficiency in any capacity. So, anyways, that's just my rant there.
Well, actually, I recently got a haircut, and I love my haircut, dude. Shout out to Curtis, he's fucking awesome. But my biggest thing with getting a haircut, and Curtis is a great guy, but like when I'm getting like a service done, like a haircut, right? I just want to get in there, cut my hair, and leave. It's a guy's cut. It should be like a 20-minute, 25-minute deal. You know what I'm saying? And I get in there and I'm hearing everything, bro. Like, and it's like, I'm in there for like an hour, and I'm with you. I just want to get in and out sometimes, with that stuff. So I feel your frustration, Ebba. Absolutely.
So no lap dance and a blowjob?
Yeah, nothing like that there. No. Curtis is a very nice guy, but he's not my type.
Mr. Webb, on the other hand, he's a pump and dump kind of a guy. You know what I mean?
Oh, absolutely. Pump and dump, smash and dash. We're out of here, dude.
There is.
Quick kill. You never know with SeaWorld. I love this place.
I mean, you guys invited me on, right?
So. Love seeing the, animals and such. Food's good. But sometimes the customer service, they need to step it up. Mako just went up to a 30-minute wait, and I think it's due to that really big tour group, and they're only operating one train. And there it is right now, the one train. I know
The one train.
like, yeah,
That annoys me. OG, so back to what you were saying about the customer service, right? We're used to, as Disney fans, having that prestige, high level customer service, right? George is used to that like high premium, that DCL stuff. At SeaWorld, let me tell you the experience I had at SeaWorld, right? So me and my mom and my brother and my wife, we go to one of SeaWorld San Diego's like restaurants, right? By the way, they're not all good. All of them are like cafeteria style pretty much, except for one. And the food's always cold. It's not great, and it's expensive. One time my mom's soda, like, it fell off the tray or whatever, and then she asked for help with like cleaning it up, and they're like, "Oh yeah, there's some paper towels over there." And I was like, "What is that? Like, be more helpful than that, right?" And it just annoys me. I get what Slimer was saying. This is like more of a value kind of part.
It is,
but the service should still be there. But you can tell that nobody there really gives a crap.
You get half price. You give half price wages. You get half price help. That's what I'm saying.
I know, exactly.
That's why you should get that premium price like I do. I have people who do the pump and dump for me.
There you go. Absolutely.
Go wait in line. Yeah, I could. However, when they're only operating one train, it more than likely is going to be over the posted wait, just in my experience. But I'm not going to let that defeat my day, because there's still so many coasters to ride here at SeaWorld Orlando. I can't make this up. I just left this store right outside of Infinity Falls because I was like, let me ask one more time about this Quick Queue. They told me to go back over to Mako, to one of those stores, to buy Quick Queue. SeaWorld, come on, what's going on? I did want to point out that the Seven Seas food.
So the question is, SeaWorld, what's going on? Right? What is up with this lack of operations and team members not knowing what is what, where is where to go for what? Right?
That's definitely management. I blame, and honestly, not even just for SeaWorld. Like, anytime that if you're having multiple people, I could understand maybe like one team member or one cast member that maybe may not know, they go and ask, or they give you misinformation or whatever. But when you're having multiple people from different locations say one thing and then they say a next, and no one is on the same page, then I'm sorry, you got to start at the top. That is poor quality management of how they are training their employees.
Well, and that's why I want to go back to the company branding, the umbrella company, right? Is that, do you think that's going to change for SeaWorld or Busch Gardens or Discovery Cove? Is that management going to change and then restructure the management to have better efficiency, better park operations as a whole? Slimer, what do you think?
Well, if it's just a rebranding without introducing a new culture into the company and making sure that new culture gets disseminated from the top down, with a rigorous amount of control, then no, right? That's not going to change. This is a multifaceted issue. This doesn't have to do just with rebranding, right? It has to do with the quality of the employees that they're hiring. So recruiting is not getting the message from middle management as to what kind of employees they're looking for. If they're looking for tabla rasa, so you're 17, 18-year-old just looking for a part-time job, they're not. The training team is not doing the right job of ensuring that people know where to go to spend money. I mean, the thing about Disney is like Disney will sell you anything, right? Like there's a SKU number for the urinal. You want to buy the urinal? We got to. Yeah, hold on. Put your card in there. Boop boop. $4,000, they'll sell it to you. They'll put a new one there, later that night. I mean, that's how efficient is Disney and Universal are with, facilitating customers spending money. Because I mean, like when you're there, that's what you do. Like you spend money frivolously. I mean, $4,000 or $5,000 in a week, boom, gone. Yeah. So the fact that he can't buy a quick queue is preposterous. I mean, and the thing is it's such a simple solution they don't have to rebrand the entire company to fix this problem. This is a very simple, like, hey, what's our KPIs for quick queue? So key performance indicators for quick queue sales. If it's down, okay, find out what the problem is. There's a solution. You just got middle management of the company of SeaWorld needs to take the personal responsibility to say, okay, why is quick queue not selling? Why are we not blowing KPIs? Like quick queues should be like, they should be sold out every single day. You know what I mean? Like they're sold out every day at Universal. They're sold out every day at Disney for the most part. I can't buy one at SeaWorld. The fuck?
I mean, he's trying to give them his money. I mean, that's crazy to me.
And what's even more crazier is everything is done like on the phone or the apps nowadays. Like, why do you even have to even go into a store to even speak to a member to even get a queue? Like, you should be able to go on like a SeaWorld app or the website and buy it from there.
That's a really good point because, spending money should transcend language barriers. Like if you, if you speak Cantonese and there's no Cantonese speaking motherfuckers there. All right, cool. You downloaded that Cantonese app and you're buying away. You know what I mean? And there are tens of thousands of people that don't speak or read English that do that every single day across the Universal and Disney parks.
Or even have like a sign, or even have a sign that you can do like scan like the QR code. That'll give like anything. Like this seems like so old school, like back in the 80s, back in the 90s, that you're trying to like purchase something that you have to go to a register.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I need to make a phone call. Do you have a yellow book?
Well, what's funny is that when I was at SeaWorld 2 years ago, they still have kiosks where you go. And if you're if you can go buy your ticket, it pops out a ticket. Or if you're a pass holder, I can go there, put in my pass holder code to get like so I get a one quick queue and it pops out like a physical passport. So yeah,
I've done the same thing for condoms.
All right.
What's a condom?
George, why, bro? You didn't even use them.
Food festival is currently happening, which is one of my favorite food events around town at any theme park, from Thursdays until Sundays until May 4th. I have some more bad news. I'm here at Icebreaker and they are only operating one train, and that is why the standby has a 70-minute wait.
Really quick, bro, can you pause
I would believe the only place where I could
I think it's so I think this is so funny, like all around. They subdue to one train per attraction that is supposedly going to get people to buy a queue, but you can't even buy a queue.
The quick queue, yeah, exactly. This whole thing is orchestrated, we're assuming, right, to get you to buy the quick queue. And then you motherfuckers out there looking for a fucking quick queue, and you can't buy the quick queue. It's like it makes no sense to me, and that's why Webba. This is really a great video because PC Dev is doing a phenomenal job. He's awesome, but I mean, really, this is kind of crazy. This is total malpractice right now.
Yeah, this is a Seinfeld episode.
It absolutely is. Absolutely.
Oh well, OG, real quick before you play it. Slimer, so I wanted to tell you too, like with the standing in line for so long, I get you what you're saying, but it's like the longer you're waiting in line, isn't that also less people out walking around going to buy merch and food because they're waiting so long in line?
Yeah, it depends on what the capacity is. Like you can still hit your KPIs no problem if you have enough people in the park.
Perfect. All right. Well, just so you guys know, I'm not a business person. I have no idea. I'm just some fucking dude on YouTube. So, anyways, continue on here.
Purchase quick queue would be guest services at the front of the park. I'm thinking about going over there, but honestly, I think I may not, just because if they're only operating one train, I don't know. I'm starting to feel let down a little bit. Coming up on what used to be the Wild Arctic attraction, it is now being transformed into an all-new attraction. I believe this is going to be like a Soarin' type ride, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
So,
but one thing that I will say about SeaWorld,
that's actually a cool ride system for a park like SeaWorld. There's a lot you can do with that. Go ahead, Webba.
Well, here's the thing. So I think, Slimer, correct me if I'm wrong, you guys used to have the helicopter simulator thing, kind of like Star Tours right over there, right? Wild Arctic. That's what we had. Ours got turned into a Arctic like rescue like coaster where like the coaster is like a shape of like a snow like mobile, or what do you call it, like the uh
A snowmobile.
so yeah, snowmobile.
Yeah.
But if this is going to be a like soaring type of ride, that's going to be even cooler, I think, because you have a ride that's not like a thrilling coaster. You have something that's more like a family, like indoor kind of ride, right? And I think that's really cool. And you're getting into that modern theme park technology, which I think is really, really dope. So yeah, and that's gonna be a cool difference too between the two parks. And just quick fun fact: our Arctic Rescue like coaster we have here, a lady who works like in our HR department or whatever, or some type of development department at Legoland, actually came from working on the Arctic Rescue coaster here at SeaWorld San Diego. So
Oh, okay.
yeah, it's pretty cool. Anyways, continue on.
There we go.
They're always bringing new attractions and experiences to their parks, at least here in Orlando. I do really like how SeaWorld has the addition of Sesame Street Land for the kiddos. But man, Abby Cadabby and Elmo, you have seen better days, my friend. It is pretty quiet throughout Sesame Street Land. The splash pad is not open today. Story time with Big Bird is happening right now. I have to. Anybody home?
I wasn't kidding about homeless people.
Now, if this was Disney, fans would be like, "What does Sesame Street have to do with the ocean?"
I mean that's fair, but that's why here at San Diego though they took out Sesame Street and they gave Sesame Place down in the San Diego area to have its own little park. But
oh, gotcha. So we don't have this over here. It has its own park, its own thing.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you though. Once I'm laid off, you'll find me in that trash can. So
there we go.
He's home. I noticed the sign that says merchandise sale starting at 12 p.m. this way, and this is the location of Howl-O-Scream, where most of the activities start back here. Let's go see what this is
have you been to
about.
Howl-O-Scream?
50% off.
Yeah, not at SeaWorld though.
Oh, you haven't?
No, I've only been to the Busch Gardens ones.
Oh, how was that?
Great.
Great. Yeah. Well, the one here at SeaWorld, it was okay. They cornered off like the one part of the park for the experience. Everything else was just closed. Whereas at Universal Hollywood, you have the entire park to use. So I don't know if it's because of like an animal thing, but I was like, I wish the whole park was open. So
no, that's a budget thing.
So,
speaking of budget things, here we go. Look at this shot.
It's like a garage sale.
Yeah, see, even PC Dev is like, it looks like a garage sale.
Yeah. Or a commuter core hall.
Merchandise.
A commuter core hall, exactly, bro. 1,000% lever. Oh my god.
$36.99, so 50% off that. Wow, they have 2022, 23 stuff, Christmas, Sesame Street. How much are these 2022 photo frames? It says $29.99, so $15.
Hey, Webba, wasn't that the year that you came onto the channel? I think it was like 2022-ish.
Yeah, that was the Webba debut.
Some more hats here. I mean, just a little bit of everything. Halloween.
Dude, it's so
stuff.
generic looking, dude.
Yeah, big time.
And see, this is the funny thing is that I know that this is like a sale thing, but people, I mean, granted us too, right? At least the outer portion, we're complaining about the Haunted Mansion, Madame Leota store, right? But then when you have crap like this, no one says anything.
Yeah, no, I get it. I mean, and like the thing with the Leota store is it's like right next to like a legendary attraction, and it's like there's so much like expectation attached to it, But yeah, this is, I don't know, this is a little bit below what I would even expect from SeaWorld, to be quite honest.
Oh yeah, that one's cool. Oh, they have some icebreaker and some pipeline stuff. Honestly, when you're at the parks, if they're running any type of garage sale like that was, that's the best time to buy merchandise and just stock up for souvenirs. Okay, let's give Pipeline a shot. Standby is sitting at a 20-minute wait right now. Well,
Damn, George, not bad.
Is only operating.
Not bad at all.
George gets them in and out super quick.
Hey, look at we got 9 and 10, like the like the Ebba, like the Asian chicks going down the escalator at Universal Studios Hollywood.
That's right. Yep.
Nines and tens, bro. Nines and tens.
In one train as well, but at least it's a bit more organized over here. And away we go.
Hey, OG, are you going on this one, bro?
Waited about 20
Oh
minutes.
hell no, bro! I'm not going on. I can already see from here. I'm not going on this shit. No way. The other one I'll go on. The penguin one I'll do that one for sure. Not this one. Though. Nah, this is like some Velocicoaster shit, probably, right? Let me see.
Not too bad. Back row.
Well, I mean, like this is called the pipeline, so George, we'll have to
Oh, it's
see.
gonna be wild.
Yeah, they named this after me.
Oh yeah!
Wow.
Yes!
Oh yeah, this is crazy, bro.
Oh yeah, that looks fun.
Dude.
So this here is what should be called the Italiano experience.
Yeah.
This is the Italiano effect.
There you go.
Oh, a lot of airtime.
Yeah, this is crazy. I'm not doing this one. No way.
Come off all wet.
Right?
Yeah, I think I'll do this one. It looks pretty fun.
You do it? Wow.
Yeah.
I still think it's hilarious. Theme Park Wizard, he's been covering this Fast and Furious coaster over here in Hollywood, and he has some amazing coverage. He's been doing a lot of great work over there. And George tells him, hey, we're going to go on that, right? He's like, oh hell no, I'm not going on that. And George is like,
I said it to him like when he was recording. I was like, you covered this thing from the first shovel of dirt, and like you're not going to go on this. He was like, no, you're going to be the guinea pig.
that's fantastic, absolutely fantastic.
So I'm not sure if there's any more
First time with
in the video, OG. Sorry,
Okay.
I'm not sure if there's any more in the video. Slimer, was there anything else you saw later, or was that it?
No, just that he went to guest services and the printer was down, and they couldn't print him they couldn't print him a quick cube because of that.
Yeah, okay.
It's like a comedy. It's a comedy, bro.
And that's the thing to George's point is that why isn't there anything digital? Like, why do you have to print out a physical quick cube? That doesn't make any sense.
You finally look at this is the craziest thing, right? They're running one train, all these rides to get people to do the quick queue. He goes from shop to shop to shop to shop to shop, gets the runaround. Go to that shop, no, go that one, right? No one, he can't buy one. He finally lands at customer service, and they're finally gonna give him one, and then it doesn't print. I love that. That's crazy. That's so funny, bro.
It's a not a Seinfeld episode. I mean, it is like a Seinfeld episode, but what's that other one? Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Curb Your Enthusiasm. Yeah.
Totally.
No.
And both literally created by Larry David. So I mean, it's right up.
I swear, dude, this is like a Larry David episode.
Oh, it is. And I feel for the guy. It sucks, but I mean, it's an experience that it's ridiculous how poorly run at least that element of the SeaWorld experience is. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I guarantee you, again, if this had happened at Disney or even Universal, you would see on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, outrage across the board, right? And again, to be fair, there is a higher expectation from the Disney parks and Universal, right? Yeah. But at the same time, OG, to your point, what you're saying is that you're still spending your hard-earned money at these parks. SeaWorld is still charging you $35 to park, just like Disney, Universal, what is it, 32, 35 around that time, right? So they're still charging these theme park prices, but they're not giving you the theme park quality.
Right. You're still spending money. So there, this idea that just because it's a cheaper thing doesn't mean that we should be upset or that we shouldn't, call them out. Because I think, obviously there's shades of gray with this stuff. It's not it's not black and white, which fandom loves to do black and white. But obviously, yes, you should get more upset when you're spending more money, right? Disney has you more invested. So there's going to be more there for that. Yeah. But you are still spending your money at SeaWorld. So you should still there should be some accountability there as well. You still give them your hard-earned money. You still spend money there. And this is what he went through with this. This is absolutely I don't mean to laugh, but I mean, it really is comical how bad it is. You know what I'm saying?
And thank God, I don't know anyone that would really want to travel internationally to go to SeaWorld, in the States. But just speaking hypothetically, if somebody did and came over from wherever, from India or Australia or Germany or whatever, if they were to go to SeaWorld and have the same experience that Dev did,
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, I'd be pissed.
Yeah, absolutely. We got a little something here. We got a little something here from Mr. Slimer. Hold on one second, everybody. We're gonna play this. Give me a second. Slimer, this is courtesy of him. Give me 1 second. And here we go. Ready? Here we go. Oh man.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
Exactly. So when you go to SeaWorld, curb your enthusiasm, folks. Absolutely.
Yeah. Literally curb your enthusiasm.
Literally, yeah. Exactly. Oh shit. That's fantastic. That was great. Well played, Slimer. Well played. Well played.
Yeah, so so Slimer, I want to ask you first, okay, before we head out here.
Mhm.
What can see, because you mentioned that they have already put themselves as like a value park, right? And in
Mhm.
terms of like just the company as a whole, right? United Parks and Resorts, what
Mhm.
can they do, especially for SeaWorld and maybe Busch Gardens, to really be more competitive in the theme park market?
Well, there's a couple of things they have to do to be more competitive in the theme park market.
Picture printers.
From yeah,
Step one.
yeah,
Yes.
but I mean it's a multifaceted problem, right? I mean if being competitive means not having enough or acquiring more capital so that way you can build not just throw roller coasters, right, but build highly immersive e-ticket attractions that are based off of the latest intimate posters using like multi-screen technology or using cook arm technology. And if that company does not have the capex to do that, they're going to have to acquire an investor. Okay. So they're going to have to bring an investor in, and they're going to have to sell them on why they should invest in the SeaWorld brand, and what how soon they can pay them back their investment with interest. Okay. So that's one problem. Okay. I don't know if they've been able to do that. I don't know if they even want to be able, I don't know if they even want to compete on that level, right? Because they might not even see, I've never sat in a board meeting, contrary to popular, but I don't know if they're looking to compete on Disney's level or on Universal's level for that matter. They might be looking at like King's Dominion and the Six Flag parks as their main competitors. And so, if they are outpacing them in terms of annual attendance, and they don't have any, if they don't have any additional operational capital to be able to manage and maintain a higher operational capacity, then they might not be looking to expand more than 5 to 10%, let's just keep it like 5% year over year. In terms of turning it into like a premium brand, I think that's a little bit easier. You just have to bring in the right talent. You just bring in a new CEO, you bring a new president of the parks. You make sure that everybody that from the top down buys into whatever that is that you're trying to bring in. If it's being customer obsessed and bringing in that, the Disney quality, the Universal quality, you're probably going to want to bring in somebody from one of those companies, or at the very least, somebody within the hospitality industry that's worked at like Four Seasons, Alani, your 4 or 5 star hotels. You're going to bring them in, and you're going to make sure that everybody is in line with what the board wants, or else they're gone. And it's pretty simple. And there's going to have to be a lot with this. There's going to be a lot of terminations, but yeah, I mean, you're going to have to clean house in a situation like this, where like you can't even buy a quick serve or a quick queue. Quick serve.
Well, I do. We do have exclusive footage here of SeaWorld management. Here we go.
That's great. A night and an ninja jar.
Oh man. Okay.
Dude, the gangster rap throughout this entire movie is just fucking phenomenal, man.
Oh, it's great. Office Space is one of the best movies. I was actually gonna share that. I couldn't contain myself. I even started laughing before I even shared it, but fucking hilarious. It really is. You're right. Curb Your Enthusiasm, Slimer, with this whole situation. Fantastic.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
But Webba, I don't think that they're interested in becoming a premium brand. I just don't think so. I think what they could do though is they could dominate the value market, and there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, look at Walmart. I mean, Walmart is a value brand, and Walmart has 1.5 million employees, and the Waltons are worth tens of billions of dollars. So you can make a lot of money as a value brand. You just have to when it comes to value though, your operational not your operational, but your margins are going to be a lot thinner. So
no, you're right. It's kind of like counter programming. It's an alternative to people who don't want to spend or can't spend the money that Disney's asking for. Right. So
right.
Absolutely.
I think Nintendo's a really great example of a premium brand within the video game market, or a premium brand that also only caters to like a certain demographic, right? I mean, like when Xbox or when Microsoft came into the scene and Sony came into the scene, there was a big video game battle in the 1990s. Nintendo tried to compete head to head with them by getting third-party licensing from like Ubisoft, Square Enix, Activision, EA, right? But Microsoft and Sony had a lot more pull with those third-party brands. Not only that, but Nintendo was making video game systems that didn't have quite the horsepower, and the development software just wasn't as friendly. They just weren't getting that development support. So what did they do? They decided, well, we're not going to compete with them directly. What we're going to do is we're going to focus on a certain age demographic and people that are into Nintendo games. And what ended up happening is they ended up cornering about 35 to 40% of the market by doing so, and leaving Microsoft and Sony to compete for the other 60%, which gave them actually, relatively smaller piece of the pie. And, look who's laughing at now. So you can focus on one thing and do very well. It doesn't always have to be premium. I mean, look at what's going on with the Disney Universal. They're both competing for that premium spot, and in the process of doing it, they're spending billions and billions of dollars. I mean, Epic Universe costs anywhere between $6 to $8 billion. So just so they can try to get an additional 8 to 15 million attendees per year.
It's crazy.
Yeah, absolutely. George, what do you think, going off what Slimer said, right? Like, should they stay as a value park? Should they try to find a certain demo even for SeaWorld in particular to visit their parks? Should they have more type of attractions like a Soarin' or like a web slinger attraction or dark rides? Get rid of a lot of the big animals, still have some, but have more ocean sea based attractions in the ride.
Yeah, that's the route I would go. It's not necessarily doing a carbon copy like other parks, but you just kind of want to stay ahead of the game and move with the times. A lot of people don't want to go to a theme park and necessarily, not saying they don't want to see live animals, but that's not all that they want to do during their whole entire experience there. Have certain exhibits, but a lot of people go to theme parks for rides. That's the bigger demographic. And when Dev was mentioning, they're going to do like a Soarin' based type of ride, that does really fit very well with a type of
park it is
that SeaWorld is, and I think that would work really, really well for it. And again, they need to fix some of the operational behind the scenes stuff, which honestly, in all seriousness, that stuff shouldn't even be. The fact that you can't get basically any kind of customer, not saying that the team members were rude, but it's just the lack of information that was given to them to give to the customers is just bad show for the park. And if you want to be in an industry where you're up against these big, heavy hitting giants like Disney and Universal, then as a business, they have to take themselves more serious.
Yeah,
you know,
no, you
go anywhere.
No, you're right, George. You're 1,000% correct on that. It's not, they don't have the information, these cast members at SeaWorld. They're not necessarily bad. They're not being rude, from what we're hearing from PC Dev, right? But they're just ill-informed. They don't know where this stuff is. So he's going from shop to shop to shop to shop to shop. It's ridiculous. I mean, we've all had that same experience when you call a call center or something, right? You're trying to get like something done with your phone bill or something, and they bounce you to one. You get to that department, you give them all your information. Oh, okay, I'll get you over to the right department. They bounce you again. You give them all your information. Oh, I'll get you over there, and you get transferred like 6 times. It's frustrating, man. And this is even kind of worse because he's having to physically walk from place to place to place to place. He finally lands at a place that can do it, and the damn printer don't work.
Well, here's the thing with that, OG. If we really think about it, because I don't know if it was you or if it was Slimer that mentioned it. I think it was you that you were saying like they get like these like high schoolers, or out of high school, young people. That's the demographic to work in these parks for minimum wage and what have you. Well, here's the thing. What if actually the printer works, but they don't have anyone there old enough to know how to work one?
Yeah. Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, I think it's 18 and over at all these places, but I mean, even 18, it's yeah, it's crazy. But it's a training issue. It's completely a training issue. They just they're not trained properly, And
SeaWorld needs to update on their tech because you should be able to go on an app or a website or even have a sign that has a QR code that you can scan through your camera, and you should be able to buy right through your phone.
Yeah.
I think in order for them to do that correctly, they need to be able to get the basics right. And right now they can't get the basics right. And the thing about Quick Queue is that it's an upsell. Like there should never be a moment where you can't, process an upsell. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because if SeaWorld Entertainment overall is charging an exuberant amount of prices for food, that tells you they have razor thin margins. And so those upsells are going to be the difference between staying in business and staying out and not being in business. Having those food stands open or not having food stands open, managing one train per ride or 2, right? Like if you don't have enough ride operators, it's super important. And the fact that, they seem to, middle management seems to like gloss over that is a big problem because I can guarantee you the devil isn't the only person that was having the issue that day, right? So,
absolutely.
Upsells, they have to be in. Like you can't lose money to upsells, man. Like that's business 101, and for it to be happening at an amusement park is completely unacceptable.
It's one thing. You're right, Slimer. It's one thing for consumers not to want the product, but it's malpractice when they're begging you. Right. I want to give you my money, and you're not allowing them to do that.
When you have razor thin margins.
Yep.
Because you're a value product.
Right. So it's crazy to me that's happening. It's absolutely crazy to me.
Well, Slimer, let me give you experience of like this value product, right? And I've told this multiple times on the show, but I'll say it again. This was the most ridiculous experience I've ever had in my life at any theme park. Okay. Went in the single rider line for Journey to Atlantis. Okay. There was probably about 5 people ahead of me. And then there was the regular queue, right, which had a bit more people in it. There was one person at the or 1 or 2 people for the ride ops, right, for the controls, and there was one guy managing the line. There was a guest that came in, and this is another problem I have with SeaWorld. They don't give out information in a way where it's understandable. So there was a guest that came in, like just went around the line, came and talked to the guy who is like directing like people in the line to go to the loading area. And he's talking to him for like literally 10 minutes. 4 to 5 empty boats of the ride just go because nobody can go because there's one guy directing traffic.
I remember you telling me about that when we went to Disney California Adventure.
Yeah, and it was ridiculous. I was like, how is this even allowed? And then that same day we went to a little like burger place there. Okay, it took me like 25 minutes to get my meal. It was that slow. what is happening now? I'm not trying to be like harsh on the team members, but like what is within these operations for the basic stuff that is just like not operating correctly?
Yeah.
You tell me,
it's
bro. I
frustrating.
waited 45 minutes for a damn soft serve ice cream.
Yeah, that was crazy, dude. That was crazy. But it's
Where
just
at?
frustrating because I know I think SeaWorld has potential, but that's why it frustrates me because they're adding a lot of new stuff, but it's like, okay, they're trying to add new stuff to make up the lack of like good operations at the
Yeah.
basic level. And it annoys me a lot. And I
Yeah.
wish they would just get the basics down first, like what Slimer said, and then build up from there. So
Yeah, no, 100%, 100%. You got to get the basics down before you start adding. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of these places, they struggle. They struggle. This
Yeah.
was not this video from PC Dev shows this was not a good look for SeaWorld at all with this. And it's not just SeaWorld though. A lot of these theme park companies, including Disney, have similar issues like this. We hear it all the time. You know,
Yeah.
there's no excuse for it. There's no excuse.
No, absolutely. But anyways, gentlemen, I want to thank you so much, George, OG, Slimer, Mean Green Machine down there. Thank you so much for coming on today's webisode of WEBISODE OG 55. George, the Italiano. Where can everybody at home find you, sir?
Wait, he goes first? Oh, fuck that, bro. No, I'm just kidding. No, I'm just kidding. Go ahead, bro. Go ahead.
That was good.
You can find me on X, formerly known as Twitter, at Disney George. You can also find me on Instagram, Threads, and Blue Sky under the Disney Italiano. And of course, you can find me right here on Orange Grove 55 with Citrus Corner with all that sweet, juicy, but sometimes sticky Disney news and info.
There we go.
There we go. Slimer, my man. Where can everybody find you on social media?
Mr. Weber, thanks for having me on. Despite the criticism, and I believe everything we said today was constructive criticism. I don't think that we went off the deep end, and I don't think we've said anything controversial. But we will still be going to Busch Gardens, and we'll still be going to SeaWorld and spending our hard-earned money there when he comes down here to Florida in April. So, stand by for that. But thanks again for having me on. Enjoyed discussing it. Curb your enthusiasm whenever you go to SeaWorld. But you could find me on X. You can find me on X at SlimeScore84. You can find me right here next to Pipeline and Orange Grove 55.
There we go.
Yes, I love it. OG 55, sir. What can everybody find you?
I ain't got nothing to say but West Side.
I gotta say, no, I was kidding. I'm gonna pull the shit out of that clip because I love Mustard. I think he's fantastic. You can find me on YouTube, obviously, Orange Grove 55. You can find me on Instagram, Orange Grove 55, and you can find me on X and Blue Sky, Orange Grove 55. And again, Webba, thank you for being a phenomenal host. Really fun show today. Talking SeaWorld, talking operations, talking Quick Queue, talking printers. We loved it.
And really quick, I just have to say, if you don't know who Mustard is, then you need to catch up.
Nice.
That is true. You got to catch up.
That is awesome.
That was a good one.
Well, everybody, thank you so much for watching. Do you like SeaWorld? Do you not like SeaWorld? Do you plan on going? How's the operations? Are we wrong? Give your opinions down in the comments below.
Hey, Webba, we didn't rank the SeaWorld smells.
Out of smells, 5 out of 5 smells. What do you give SeaWorld?
Oh, dude, 5 out of 5.
Oh, God, OG.
How many yucks are there? How many yucks is that, George? The smells at SeaWorld.
Honestly, I'll let you know. I'll let you know in March. When it's because I can't imagine because I remember. I mean, it's been years since I've been to SeaWorld, but I mean, if the stench stayed, I'd give it a solid 10.
There you go.
The smell is lingering.
It lingers. Woo. All right. Well, Bubba, thanks again for being a fantastic host.
Absolutely. All right, everybody. Have a wonderful day.
Snapping shots, swinging high, Mr. Webba, the city's alley, Orange Grove, where danger hides with web swinging action. He'll turn the tides, dodging bullets, leaping tall. Webba's here to save us all from the villains, he won't fall. Spinning webs, standing tall.
Thank you for watching OG55. If you aren't already, consider becoming a member today.